like you to describe a time when someone apologized to you, you should say. When it was, who this person is, why he or she apologized to you, and how you felt about it. You'll have 1 to 2 minutes for this.
I'd like to talk about a time when one of my close friends apologized. This was, let me think, about 2 years ago, back when we were in university. We were studying for finals, and I'd asked him to meet up at the library to study together. I was really counting on him, needed a bit of support. But, well, he just didn't show up on the day, didn't even send a message or anything. I felt pretty disappointed, honestly, and a bit, well, angry because I'd made an effort to be there. The next day, though, he came up to me and said he was really sorry. He explained he'd fallen asleep. Apparently, he studied super late the night before and just completely forgot about our plan. I could tell he genuinely felt bad about it. He promised he'd make it up to me. And actually, he did. He spent extra time helping me prep for one of our toughest subjects after that. So, yeah, at first I was upset, but after he apologized, I kind of realized, people make mistakes. His apology felt sincere and it made me feel valued. It actually strengthened our friendship, I think. Sometimes an honest apology really can sort of repair things, maybe even make them better.
We've been discussing a time someone apologized to you. Now, let's consider some more general questions about apologies. On what occasion do people usually apologize to others?
Well, usually people apologize when they've done something wrong, like hurting someone's feelings or just making a mistake. Being late is a common one, or forgetting something important, like in school. Students often say sorry if they disturb the class or if they forget their homework, that kind of thing. And just in everyday life, bumping into someone accidentally on the street, people usually apologize for that too. It's really part of social etiquette, isn't it? Helps keep things smooth between people.
Okay. Do people in your country like to say sorry?
Hmm, that's interesting. In my country, people do say sorry, but I feel like they're maybe a bit selective about it. For the, small things, stepping on someone's foot, being a few minutes late. Yeah, saying sorry is pretty standard. But for bigger mistakes, sometimes they hesitate. Maybe they feel embarrassed or awkward. For instance, neighbors making too much noise late at night. They might not come over and apologize directly. Instead, they might just try to be like extra friendly the next day. Sort of an indirect way of saying sorry, perhaps.
Right. Do you think people should apologize for anything wrong they do?
Yes, definitely. I believe people should apologize whenever they've done something wrong, big or small. It's about showing respect, and taking responsibility for your actions. For example, if a teacher makes a mistake while explaining something, a simple apology can actually earn them more respect from the students, I think. Apologizing doesn't show weakness. Actually, I think often shows strength of character. It takes courage sometimes.
Finally, why do some people refuse to say sorry to others?
Well, I think there are a few reasons. Sometimes it's pride, isn't it? They think saying sorry makes them look weak or less important. I've noticed sometimes older relatives in my family, they rarely apologize, even if they're clearly wrong. Maybe they feel their age gives them authority, so they don't need to. Also, some people just want to avoid responsibility. If admitting fault might get them into trouble or cause embarrassment, they might just, try to avoid saying sorry altogether.
Thank you. We will now proceed to the second response on the same cue card. You still need to describe a time when someone apologized to you.
Okay. I'd like to talk about a pretty memorable incident involving an apology. It actually left quite a strong impression on me about what apologies really mean. And this is about 3 years ago. I just started my first job after university. I had a colleague who was also quite new. Well, he took credit for some ideas I'd shared during a team brainstorming session. In the moment, I felt really hurt and frankly quite frustrated. I'd put a lot of work into those suggestions, and I felt like my contribution was just completely overlooked. A couple of days later, this colleague approached me privately. He apologized. He admitted he wasn't feeling confident about his own abilities, and while that's why he'd sort of taken advantage of my input, he expressed genuine regret. And what really struck me was he didn't just say sorry, he also promised he would tell our manager the truth about where the ideas came from. And later that week, he actually did it. He corrected the record during a team meeting. That action, well, that showed me his apology was truly sincere I felt relieved afterwards and actually respected. Initially, yeah, I was angry. But seeing him have the courage to admit the truth, I didn't just forgive him. I gained a lot of respect for him, too. It taught me something important, I think. A real apology isn't just about the words, it's often about taking action to, you know, fix the mistake. And interestingly, that whole incident kind of paved the way for us to become quite good friends later on.
We've been discussing apologies. Now, let's consider some more general questions. On what occasion do people usually apologize to others?
Well, people apologize in, numerous situations, really. They can range from quite casual, everyday things to very serious matters. In daily life, it could be something minor, like accidentally bumping into someone on public transport, as I mentioned before. But in more formal settings, say business or university, apologies are often needed for mistakes that impact others more significantly. For instance, missing an important deadline or failing to deliver on a commitment. I remember once during a university group project, our team leader apologized very sincerely because his poor time management had delayed everyone's progress. That apology actually really improved our trust in him because he wasn't afraid to admit his fault.
Okay. Do people in your country like to say sorry?
I think people in my country do apologize, but the way they do it often depends quite a bit on the situation and cultural norms. For minor infractions being slightly late, maybe interrupting someone, people are usually pretty quick to offer a verbal sorry. But for more serious mistakes, it seems many people tend to avoid a direct apology, or perhaps they replace it with indirect gestures, offering a small gift, maybe, or treating someone to a meal as a way of making amends. For example, I had a neighbor once who played music incredibly loud one night. Instead of knocking on my door to apologize the next day, he brought over some snacks, kind of like a peace offering, you know? The concept of apology is definitely there, but it's not always expressed verbally, especially for bigger things.
You think people should apologize for anything wrong they do?
Absolutely, yes. I firmly believe an apology is necessary whenever someone's actions have negatively affected someone else, regardless of the scale of the wrongdoing. Even small mistakes, I think, deserve acknowledgement. It helps build trust and mutual respect between people. However, and this is important, the apology needs to be genuine. Just saying the word sorry without really meaning it or without any intention to change doesn't carry much weight, does it? Like, if someone is constantly late for meetings but keeps saying sorry every time without actually trying to be punctual, well, that apology starts to lose its value pretty quickly. So, yes, people should apologize, but ideally, it should be coupled with a genuine effort to improve or make things right.
And why do some people refuse to say sorry to others?
In my view, there are probably several reasons behind that refusal. One major factor is often pride. Some people equate apologizing with appearing weak or losing face, somehow diminishing their power or status. Another reason could be fear of the consequences. They might worry that admitting a mistake could damage their reputation or maybe put them at a disadvantage professionally or personally. For instance, in a workplace environment, you might find some managers are hesitant to apologize because they believe it could undermine their authority in front of their team. There can also be cultural habits involved. In some families or societies, perhaps, older generations might feel it's unnecessary or even inappropriate to apologize to younger people simply due to hierarchical structures where respect is expected to flow upwards. So, yeah, it's often a mix, I think pride, fear, and sometimes just ingrained cultural habits.
Okay, let's step out of the examination room for a moment and unpack this a bit. Wow. Just delivering those Band 7 answers, I could really feel the difference compared to the Band 9 ones, even just in the rhythm and word choice.
It's actually surprisingly tricky, isn't it, to deliberately hold back on more complex phrasing when you're used to using it. The Band 7 script, delivering it felt almost, well, a bit simpler, maybe, because the focus there is clear communication, but not necessarily deep analysis with complex sentences.
Exactly. Whereas the Band 9, it felt denser conceptually.
Right, and that's what we need to dissect now.
So for you listening, this analysis part is really crucial. It shows those key areas where Band 9 pulled ahead specifically, more sophisticated vocabulary, and importantly, more complex sentence structures. Let's start with the Band 7 language first.
Okay, so the Band 7 speaker told a good story. It was cohesive, easy to follow, mainly using strong, common idiomatic phrases.
Yeah, like that first one we heard, make it up to someone. Very useful phrase.
Very useful, exactly. It means to compensate someone for a mistake. The speaker said he promised to make it up to me by helping me prepare more. It's effective, natural English, but it's, everyday speech.
And then in part 3, the reason for small apologies was linked to social etiquette.
Right. Polite behavior in social situations. The sentence was, it's really part of social etiquette to apologize for small mistakes. Again, totally appropriate, very clear, very accessible language.
I also picked up on show strength of character.
Yeah, that's great Band 7 language, too. It means demonstrating good moral qualities. Courage. The speaker used it to make a clear point. Apologizing doesn't mean weakness, it shows strength of character. Straightforward analysis.
And finally, talking about why people don't apologize, they used avoid responsibility.
Meaning to refuse blame or accountability. Again, perfectly clear. Some people avoid apologizing because they don't want to accept responsibility. So the main thing with Band 7 is quality descriptive English, often connected by simple words like and, because, so. We call that coordination. Simple links.
Okay, but hang on. The Band 7 answer used sincere apology. Sounds fine, right? Good English. Why is the Band 9 phrase express genuine regret considered better, worth more points? Is it just fancier words?
That's a great question. And no, it's definitely not just about fancier words. It's about something else. Sincere apology is a standard noun phrase, very common. Expressed genuine regret, though, uses a more formal, higher-level verb, expressed, combined with a more abstract noun, regret. This pairing shows more lexical sophistication, more nuance.
Okay.
It shifts the focus from just describing the action saying sorry to analyzing the emotion driving that action. That subtle shift towards analyzing feelings and motivations is a hallmark of the higher bands.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Okay, let's pivot then. Let's look at the vocabulary shift in the Band 9 responses. How did the word choices there increase the conceptual density, as you put it?
Right. Well, straight away in the part 2 story, the conflict felt more serious because of the phrase took credit for.
Yeah, that immediately signals something more complex than just being late, like a professional issue.
Precisely. It means claiming recognition for someone else's work, the speaker said. He took credit for some of the ideas I had shared. Using specific lexical chunks like this for complex situations shows a higher level of command.
Then in part 3, for the occasions people apologize, the Band 9 answer grouped things together using contrast. Numerous situations, casual to very serious.
Exactly. That shows synthesis. It's almost an academic way of categorizing things, numerous situations, from casual to serious ones. Think about the Band 7 answer, which just listed examples like being late or bumping into someone.
Lifting versus categorizing.
Yeah, the Band 9 speaker is analyzing the types of apologies, not just giving examples. It's a more analytical approach.
And this analytical depth really came through when talking about culture, using indirect gestures and peace offering.
Yes, this is critical. Indirect gestures, actions instead of words. Peace offering, a specific gift or action to make amends. This demonstrates a much deeper understanding of cultural nuances. It moves beyond just the words, I'm sorry. The example given was, he brought snacks as a peace offering after playing loud music. That ability to weave in specific cultural interpretations definitely scores higher.
And then finally, that phrase about why managers might not apologize undermines their authority. Very formal.
It is. It means weakens their power or control. The sentence was, managers may refuse to apologize because they think it undermines their authority. That's advanced, precise language suitable for abstract discussions about power dynamics, much more analytical than just saying they think it makes them look weak.
So, okay, beyond just the individual words, you mentioned structure. The Band 7 used coordination simple links. Band 9 used subordination. What does that mean for the listener?
That's probably the most important technical difference, actually. Subordination means using complex sentences with dependent clauses, parts of the sentence that add extra information but can't stand alone. These clauses feed into the main idea, showing a more complex flow of thought. Let me grab an example from the Band 9 Part 2. Here. He actually corrected the mistake during a meeting, which showed me that his apology was sincere.
Okay, so that, which showed me that part is the subordinate clause.
Exactly. It adds a layer of analysis and consequence directly onto the action described in the main clause. He corrected the mistake. A typical Band 7 response might state those as two separate, simpler sentences.
Right, so it links the action to the speaker's interpretation within the same sentence.
Precisely. It allows the speaker to shift seamlessly from describing, he corrected it, to evaluating, which showed me, almost instantly. That smooth integration of narrative, analysis, and evaluation using sophisticated vocabulary and complex grammar like subordination, that's what really defines Band 9 fluency. It's all happening at once.
So for you listening, if you want to push past Band 7, what's the big takeaway here?
Well, what's really striking is how the Band 9 response connects ideas more deeply. It's not just using better words, it's synthesizing information. The Band 7 concluded that a sincere apology can repair relationships, a good point, but the Band 9 response went further, linking words and action, concluding that a real apology isn't just about words, it's about taking action to fix the mistake. That's a leap from just describing social niceties to analyzing the conditions for true sincerity in that cultural context.
It really is the difference between description and genuine, complex analysis, all supported by that higher level language and structure. The fluency isn't just speed, it's the speed and complexity of the thought behind the words. So thinking about that Band 9 insight that a real apology isn't just about words, maybe something for you to consider. How often do you pair your own apologies with a real effort to make amends? Is sorry just a word for you, or is it backed by action? Definitely something to mull over until our next deep dive.